Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com. A shocking and politically charged attack has left a community reeling and raised serious questions about safety for public servants. A historic settlement has been reached involving a bankrupt drug maker in all 50 states. What does this mean for the ongoing opioid crisis and those affected? Developments in a high-profile trial as juror issues raise questions about the integrity of the process.
And I think it's safe to say it's been a bit wet over the last few days, but coming away over the next 48 hours, we've got a break in the rain and lots of sunshine before tropical showers are on the forecast for later this week. We'll have all that weather coming up.
Good morning, Crossroads. And weeks before their big 7-on-7 state football showdown, see what the Tidehaven Tigers have to say coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Tuesday. Things are making a change weather-wise.
That's right,
We're going
finally.
to see some sunny skies.
That's right. I know, something we haven't really seen a lot of over the last few days. Yesterday we saw a lot of sunshine, but something we really saw a lot of was the rain. Guess what? That's going to cut off mostly for today and tomorrow with the sunshine coming to replace it. We're going to look at all that here in just a second, because if you're tuning in with us this morning on your Taco Tuesday, it's another warm and humid one out there. Looking live in Victoria, where it's 77 degrees for the air temperature, but that dew point is still at that whopping high 76 degrees, bringing humidity to 96%, which is technically enough to see a little bit of light patchy fog. You can kind of see some of it and definitely see a little bit more of it in the distance on the Victoria camera. So just be careful if you're traveling on the roads this morning. There might be a little bit of light patchy fog, nothing too thick to worry about, I'm thinking. But looking at your satellite, you can see all across beautiful Texas, it's crystal clear as a glass right now, thanks to high pressure ridging, which is occurring over our heads with the jet stream, which is real far in the northern latitudes up in the northern states right now. But something that is going to change our weather later this week, get rid of the sunshine and bring back the rain chances, is this tropical storm Eric in the Pacific. We're going to look at that later, because if you're headed out the door for your Tuesday, it's going to be a tad hot and definitely humid with the heat indices up to 108, so stay hydrated. All those details coming up next.
Now to the shootings of two Minnesota lawmakers. Authorities revealing the gunman had a hit list with the names of 45 people. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the latest.
Authorities now revealing the man they say was behind a politically motivated assassination in Minnesota had a hit list of 45 targets that included members of Congress, lawmakers from Minnesota to Michigan, Planned Parenthood leaders, and healthcare workers.
It is no exaggeration to say that his crimes are the stuff of nightmares.
57-year-old Vance Bolter is accused of shooting and killing Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband at their home early Saturday.
She was just an incredible public servant and cared tremendously about getting good results for Minnesotans.
Bolter also accused of wounding State Senator John Hoffman and his wife a few miles away after disguising himself as a law enforcement officer. Hoffman's daughter calling 911, triggering a manhunt that ended late Sunday when Bolter was found in the woods near his home.
Stand up with your hands empty and above your head.
Authorities now say Bolter had driven to two other lawmakers' homes. One was on vacation, and they say Bolter only left the other house after police arrived.
This was a targeted attack against individuals who answered the call to public service.
Meanwhile, Utah Senator Mike Lee is facing scrutiny over his social media posts. One included a photo of Bolter before he was captured, along with the caption, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way." Lee refusing to answer questions about his posts.
Do you stand by the post that you made on X?
With threats against lawmakers surging in recent years, the Hortmans' children, who lost their parents in this latest violence, releasing a statement saying, "Hope and resilience are the enemy of fear. Our parents lived their lives with immense dedication to their fellow humans. This tragedy must become a moment for us to come together." Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
All 50 states, D.C., and 4 U.S. territories reached a $7.4 billion settlement Monday with a bankrupt drug maker. The payment is intended to resolve thousands of lawsuits over Purdue Pharma's role in the opioid crisis. The deal includes support from the Sackler family, Purdue's owners, and marks the largest settlement to date with individuals tied to the nationwide epidemic. A juror in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial was dismissed Monday over inconsistent statements about his residence. A 57-year-old accountant from Westchester County was promoted from the alternate pool to replace the juror. Another juror is also under scrutiny for possible outside conversations and has turned over his phone to the judge. Victoria County Animal Services picked up a 5-foot alligator Monday on Zach Lenz. Officials believe it may have been hit by a car. Animal Services stepped in to pick up the animal in place of game wardens who usually handle gator sightings. Director Mark Sloat says flooding likely gave the gator new paths to travel. Sloat urges families to watch pets and children after heavy rains. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, are you concerned about alligator sightings in your area? 13% of you say yes, 10% of you say somewhat, and 77% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And here's a clarification on a story we reported earlier. Bloomington Stronger Together, a nonprofit organization, will meet at 6:30 p.m. this evening. They'll hold their meeting at the VFW building that's at 94 Catribe Street. They're going to discuss the upcoming water board election, the formation of a Little League team, and the implementation of a post office box for the newly formed city of Bloomington. The newly incorporated city of Bloomington will hold its first city council meeting at 6 p.m. Thursday. It's set to take place at the VFW building that's at 94 Catribe Street. On the agenda is the discussion of a mayor pro tem appointment and the structure for city council meetings moving forward. They plan to have their second city council meeting at 7 p.m. on Friday, July 25th. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock. It is 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next. Good news for the city as drought restrictions ease following recent heavy rains. What does moving from stage 3 to stage 2 mean for your daily water use?
I'm ABC's Perry Russom in Washington. President Trump ending his trip to the G7 summit early as the conflict in the Middle East intensifies. That story coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it's going to be a real sunny day. That's right, but there is going to be a very, very low rain chance. So coming up next, I'll tell you just when I think there might be rain near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Taco Tuesday. Starting at the day nice and warm and humid, looking live in Cuero, and actually it has finally become humid enough that you can actually see a little bit of that fog I was talking about on the Cuero camera. Looking live in Cuero, we're looking at visibility probably around this camera location, probably at around a quarter to half mile. And it is starting to thicken up a little bit more because the winds are still pretty calm out there, around 0 to 5 miles an hour out of the south. And humidity and the temperature is starting to drop, which is bringing our humidity higher and higher and higher for the rest of this morning. So make sure to be careful if you're hitting the roads this morning. We are seeing just a little bit of that fog starting to form somewhere around some of our counties, which will burn off usually when it usually does, right around 8 a.m. Down to some mostly sunny skies in the morning time when it burns off, actually, with just a few passing clouds, I'm thinking, in the morning. Otherwise, those two will be on the decrease, burning off for the afternoon time, and we're going to be looking pretty sunny, I'm thinking, for the afternoon with maybe 1 or 2 passing clouds. But you also heard me say we have a chance for rain today. It's going to be very, very low at only 10%. So if you see rain today, I think you'd be pretty lucky, and I think you should definitely go play some bets in Vegas because it's time to get out for today. If you do see any today, it's going to be between, I'm thinking, 11 a.m. to about 2 or 3 p.m. today, where there's going to be, like I said, 1 or 2 spotty showers or very weak non-severe thunderstorms that will form before they'll cut off in the later afternoon, and we're looking pretty sunny today for everybody else. And underneath that beaming Texas sun, it's going to heat our temperatures up a little bit, upper 80s at noontime, but in the afternoon we'll heat up a little bit more. Everybody should be looking for low 90s, unless you're in the western counties, y'all might see mid 90s. And in the background, humidity is still moderate, bringing heat indices as high as 108, so stay hydrated. And do that again tomorrow because we're going to have near identical weather before tropical showers are on the forecast for later this week. And we're going to look at that coming up next because hurricane season is here. And when the storm hits, the power goes out. So will your family be ready? You can stay storm ready with Aztec Ford and Goliad. We're giving you the chance to win a free generator. Just come to keep your home powered when you need it most. It's real quick and it's easy, and it could save you big when the lights go out. Just come to crossroadstoday.com now to register for the Storm Ready Power Giveaway, proudly sponsored by Aztec Ford and Goliad. Just click on the menu button on the top left-hand side of crossroadstoday.com. Click on the Entertainment tab next, then click on Contest and click on Storm Ready Power Giveaway. Good luck.
Continuing your 7-on-7 state football coverage, and let's talk about Tidehaven High School, a team who reached the state tournament for their 6th year in a row. This past weekend, I caught up with Coach Lucio and quarterback Kel Russell for a quick word on their 7-on-7 journey.
7-on-7 here at Tidehaven has grown so much. When I first got here, we had a hard time getting kids to come out, and we almost had to like force it. And now we've got kids competing 7-on-7 from kindergarten on up, year round. They practice out here on the field.
And last year we made a good run. We went all the way to the championship game, lost a close one. And then, but this year, you know, we feel a lot better. Our timing's better, receivers are better, faster. We got 5 returning receivers, so I mean, that's always good. Defense is looking good, so it makes it real easy for me to do what I got to do. Ready to go?
Make sure you check out our website, crossroadstoday.com, to see the full story. But that does it for your sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. President Trump ending his trip at the G7 summit in Canada early to head back to Washington, and the conflict between Israel and Iran continues to escalate. ABC's Perry Russom is in Washington.
This morning, President Trump rushing back to Washington as the conflict between Israel and Iran escalates. Trump leaving the G7 summit in Canada early, with the National Security Council set to meet in the Situation Room.
You probably see what I see, and I have to be back as soon as I can.
Before leaving Canada, Trump posting online, everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Overnight, long lines of vehicles leaving the Iranian capital. Traffic backed up for what appears to be miles. It comes after Israel attacked Iran's state-run TV station during a live broadcast. Israel claiming civilians had been warned to evacuate. At least 222 people have been killed in Iran since the attack started Friday. Meanwhile, Iran launching hundreds of missiles toward Israel. At least 24 people killed in Israel so far. Israel says his attacks on Iran's military and nuclear sites are essential to stopping Tehran from building a nuclear weapon. In an interview with ABC's Jonathan Karl, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not ruling out trying to kill Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei.
It's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict. We've had half a century of conflict spread by this regime that terrorizes everyone in the Middle East.
Netanyahu says the airstrikes have set back Iran's nuclear program for a very long time, and it comes as the Pentagon is moving another aircraft carrier to the region and sending refueling planes to Europe. Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
The city is lifting Stage 3 drought restrictions and moving back to Stage 2 following recent heavy rains. Rising levels in the Guadalupe River have allowed normal water pumping to resume, reducing the need for stricter limits. Under Stage 2, residents must still follow watering rules. Water lawns only between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. to midnight. Restrictions apply to sprinkler use, pool filling, and washing vehicles at home. The National Weather Service continues a river flood warning for Victoria, Calhoun, and Refugio counties. The warning is for the Guadalupe River near Bloomington and will continue until Wednesday morning. At 6 this morning, the Guadalupe was measured at 21.56 feet. Flood stage is 20 feet. The National Weather Service reports minor flooding is occurring and minor flooding is still in the forecast. The river is expected to fall below flood stage Tuesday evening. The time now, let's get a look. It is 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, a warning from the man known as the godfather of AI about the future of the technology he helped create. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to American rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer Kendrick Lamar. Here's to more timeless verses. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kendrick Lamar, and also happy birthday to Venus Williams. Your legacy, both on and off the court, continues to inspire generations. Here's to another year of winning. Happy birthday, Venus. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, well, happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I think it's safe to say it's been a little bit wet over the last few days. I think a little bit more wet than what we'd appreciate. But if you're not a fan of all the rain, the good news, like I said earlier, is we're going to cut off the rain for the next 48 hours and bring out the sunshine. And if you're looking for more good news, all the rain we had last several days is still keeping our pollen nice and low all across the board, except for grass. Grass is going to be low to moderate, but still in the low category. Air quality is still going to be nice and moderate to us. That's going to be a level 2 out of 6, so still pretty good in my opinion. And UV index, that's going to be the only thing that's bad to us. That's going to be extreme today and tomorrow because we're approaching further in the summer months. And the sun is real high in the sky. So if you have any sensitive skin, maybe apply some sunscreen for today and tomorrow with that sunshine. But other good news, like you just heard Kaylina say earlier, the Guadalupe River is looking real nice. And actually, it's a little too nice. It's flooding right now, technically. We're under a minor flood stage right now because the river is over 21 feet at 22.3 feet at the latest report. But over the weekend time, we actually reached 25 feet, which is a 21-foot jump from 4 feet, what we had earlier last week after the rain. But coming away later this week, it's going to rain again. Chances are back to 30%, just a low 30% for a few tropical showers that are going to come off of this tropical storm Eric, which is formed just off the southern coast of Mexico. And in the long term, for the second half of June, we're going to be watching this area right here in the Bay of Campeche in the Western Caribbean for very low confidence. But that system out there in the Pacific, Tropical Storm Eric, is going to split off a big plume of moisture, and that's going to head our way in the form of tropical showers for later this week. And we're going to look at all of that more later on Sunrise. And we're going to track the tropics all season long because hurricane season here is here. And the hurricane tracking guide is here. And you can stay prepared and stay safe by picking up your free copy at one of these locations. It's going to be in Folopep in Cuero, El Campo Cycle Center, Palace Bingo in Victoria, Coastal Bend College in Beeville, Went Services in Victoria, Victoria All Sports, and Aztec Ford in Goliad. So don't wait and get yours today.
Now to the new warning from the so-called godfather of artificial intelligence and his new message about the jobs of the future. Becoming a plumber or electrician looks more attractive than ever. Here's ABC's Lionel Moisey.
This morning, Geoffrey Hinton, the so-called godfather of AI, has a new warning about the technology he helped create.
I often say 10 to 20% chance they'll wipe us out.
In a new interview with podcast host Stephen Bartlett, Hinton, a Nobel Prize-winning computer scientist, says superintelligent machines could one day decide humans are no longer needed.
It's smarter than us, right? There's no way we're going to prevent it getting rid of us if it wants to. If you want to know what life's like when you're not the apex intelligence, ask a chicken.
Hinton also warning of the many threats artificial intelligence poses right now, including mass cyber attacks, bioengineered viruses, lethal autonomous weapons, and mass unemployment.
If I was someone like a legal assistant, a paralegal, they're not going to be needed for very long. For mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
His advice for a safer path?
I'd say it's going to be a long time before it's as good at physical manipulation as us.
Okay.
And so a good bet would be to be a plumber.
Still, Hinton believes there's hope, saying despite the risks, AI holds immense promise.
It's going to be magnificent in healthcare and education and more or less any industry that needs to use its data. It's going to be able to use it better with AI.
But he warns the window to make sure AI is safe is closing fast.
We have to face the possibility that unless we do something soon, we're near the end.
Hinton predicts AI will become better than people at most tasks in the next 10 to 20 years. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Gas prices took a small dip recently, but experts warn the relief may be short-lived. Retail gas prices fell 5 cents in 2 weeks, with the national average at $3.21 per gallon. But experts warn prices may climb 12 to 20 cents after Israel's June 13th attack on Iran pushed crude oil higher. Some U.S. markets are already seeing increases. On the bright side, refiners have ramped up capacity to meet summer demand. With the rain subsiding, at least 2 Victoria County roads are closed for some time. Kemper City Road East is closed due to the heavy rain and flooding that occurred this past weekend. After the flooding, in the middle of the road is a huge hole that is blocked off by a road closed sign. Along with the creeks being above surface level, it's recommended to proceed with caution and to avoid the road. Victoria County reports another road closing after the storm. Gin Road at the Mercado Creek crossing is closed to all through traffic as a result of severe flooding caused by the Thursday storm. This crossing will remain closed for the foreseeable future until road restoration can be completed. House Bill 229 enforces a definition of sex based on the reproductive system someone was born with. The definition could now be applied across state statute, leaving trans Texans rushing to understand what exactly will change as a result of this law. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast and our sunrise over Port Lavaca with Parker. How's it looking, Parker?
Well, it's looking mighty sunny sunrise this morning. Look at how sunny. Actually, I'm going to step in the way. Very sunny and bright this morning. Oh, it just updated on me too. But it's so sunny and warm out there this morning. 78 is what we're starting at in Port Lavaca for the air temperature. But look at this. Your dew point is matching that. And you know what that means? It means basically we have 100% humidity. And you know what that means? It means we have possible fog out there that we're working with. So make sure to be careful on the roads this morning. Looking not super foggy on the coast, but we were looking in Cuero earlier. That fog did pick up a little bit, so make sure to be careful on the roads. That fog will burn off around 8 a.m. down to some mostly sunny skies, and that sun's going to heat us up a little bit today. So fishers and boaters, if you're all going down to the coast, make sure to bring some extra water bottles to stay hydrated. Look for some slightly choppy waves as well, 1 to 3 feet high in the bays, with gusts up to 25 knots at times, so be careful with that too. High tide's going to be this afternoon at about 4 o'clock, and low tide is about right now, actually 6:58 a.m. And water temperature in the bay looking at about mid-80s, so nice and warm, and the very same thing is consistent in the middle of the Gulf. Mid-80s is the surface temperature of the water. 90 degrees, though, is going to be the air temperature this afternoon in Port Lavaca. Underneath that, beaming sunshine and also breezy winds, like I said, gusting up to 25 at times. A little bit warmer in Victoria, but the same thing, 92 today, and a tad bit warmer in Cuero. You can see some of the fog I was talking about in the background this morning. Be careful with that. A little bit warmer as well, 93 for today. And I hope you all enjoy the sunshine that's coming our way for the next 48 hours because it's been rainy, but coming our way later this week, Tropical Storm Eric is going to be showing its face to us in the form of tropical showers because rain chances return later this week as a big old pool of moisture breaks off of that system and heads our way for the latter half of the week.
All right, well, thank you, Parker, and thank you all for being with us. Join Shanna Don, Clivia, and Mac at 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.